Ugh, creepy, right? So for those that don't know, this character is a girl from a short story called The Red Spot, and it comes from a book called Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It was written by Alvin Schwartz and illustrated by Stephen Gammell. And the illustrations were so kind of crazy at the time that they got a lot of attention. It came out in the early 80s, and they were supposed to be children's books, which was the crazy part, because who the heck is going to get scared by this stuff? I did. It stuck with me. Okay, so instead of explaining where exactly to place the lines on this look, it's easiest if you just look up a picture of the girl from The Red Spot and it'll show a black and white photo. It's the same thing that you saw in the thumbnail. And I'm basically going to give you more information about blending techniques. I find it easier to make soft grays by starting off with a white base, which is what we did, and adding black on top of it while using water to help you smooth it out. Now the trick is the amount of water that you use. If you use too much, you will know immediately because the paint will start to lift and run and it won't look very well balanced. So if you're using a brush, dip it in your water and wipe it off on a paper towel or a rag and then put it into your paint. Less is more. I know it's easy just to dunk the brush in there and then dunk it in the paint and keep going, but that's what makes it too messy and wet and then it doesn't adhere very well. And as for the sponge, I will never dunk that in water first, ever. I actually have a smaller spray bottle of water that I will lightly spritz it first and then put it in the paint. So when you see me using the sponge throughout this video, I'm actually having it lightly sprayed with the water and I'm putting it in the white paint and I'm going over some of the gray and the darker lines that I've already made to help soften and smooth them and help them blend together. I would say this is more of an intermediate technique. It did take me a while to really figure out the ratios of water to paint, and when it came to mixing colors like, a dark red all the way to a light pink and having it gradient really nicely, that definitely took some practice. So if you don't get it right the first time, don't worry about it. I definitely did not, so keep trying. Okay, so jeez, sound like a squirrel. Anyways, this is a technique I like to call pulling. You are taking a fine point brush and applying pressure in the area where you're starting out, and you're dragging it to where you want the line to be. And as you're dragging it, you are lifting up the brush so that it makes a thinner line. And you can apply pressure at different points throughout that line, so you can make an area look thicker to thin to thicker again, just based on the amount of pressure you put on it. This is no different from the concept of, for example, making a cat eye with eyeliner. The less heavy-handed you are with the brush or the fine tip that you're using, and the more that you lift up, the smaller the line will get, and it'll give you that really crisp, clean, teeny tiny little lines that you want. Okay, so this is my favorite part of the illusion, is the eyes. This is definitely more of an advanced technique. I am able to do this because I don't really have any blinking issues when I paint over my eyes, and I can even hold my eyelashes down very lightly and look and not have issues with it. If you do, please don't do it. Don't want you to get poked in the eye. If it feels weird, you don't like it, don't do it. If you are able to do this, use a translucent powder in between every color that you do. That way it keeps it from creasing on your eye, because if it's even a tiny little bit wet and you blink, it is over. Another quick tip, disposable mascara wands are the best. You can get them from the beauty store for very cheap. You can paint whatever color you want on them and throw them away afterwards. Just, again, please don't stab yourself in the eyeball. That is not what we're going for. P.S. It is way easier to buy a black wig with bangs rather than trying to paint them on. But it was in the middle of the night and I didn't have one, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, here is our final look of the girl in the red spot from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. If you enjoyed this look, please like and subscribe. You can find me at BengalQueen on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.